Hello and welcome back to the channel for another weekly Payday 3 news breakdown. If it's not welcome back, please do click the subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it. We are getting closer and closer to 40,000 every day, and I really want to hit it as soon as we can, so please do offer your support and keep up to date with all news for Payday 3 on all platforms. But as always, we're talking about the weekly news for Payday, and normally the only thing to talk about is Payday 3's dev blog, because there's obviously the weekly Operation Medic Bag blogs, but this week, there isn't one. If you look on Payday 3's socials, it's just gone out. It was shared on Discord earlier, but there is no blog post today. The only thing to note is that there is a 50% increase to the cash you get in heists this weekend until Monday, September 30th at 9.
Ding.
What's that?
Is a machine that goes ding.
Do you mind? This was the only other thing they shared alongside it, saying there's going to be a 50% increase to cash all weekend starting now until Monday, September 30th at 9 AM BST, 10 AM CEST, and you can change time zones from there if you need to. That's it. That's all we've got in terms of mainline Payday 3 news, but there are two other things that I want to talk about before a bigger announcement that I want to make at the end of this video, which was going to be the start of this video talking about a dev blog, so it's funny how things end up working out. But first thing I don't have an image for, so I just want to share it very briefly. Payday 2 has been delisted on Nintendo Switch. I don't know why. Payday haven't acknowledged why. Maybe they will down the line, but you cannot buy a Payday 2 digitally on the Nintendo Switch store anymore. So if you want to get a copy of it, you're going to have to do it physically. So this may quickly turn into another Concord, where everyone starts hunting down physical copies. I doubt it'll be quite as many people as there were for Concord, but still, either way, if you want to get Payday 2 on Switch, it's about to be a lot harder to do that because you now can't get access digitally on that storefront. It was an older version of the game anyway, further back than Xbox One and PS4 versions. It only got up to the Master Plan update with Sangres and the Scarface content, which I believe came out on Xbox and PlayStation at the end of 2017. I used to have all these dates memorized, but that is 7 years ago. That is, woof, that's sobering to think about, but you get the point. Sometimes the dates do slip my mind a little bit, but it is an older version of the game anyway, so don't expect something amazing, but if you want it on the go, it's still a pretty decent option from what I've heard. But if we get any more official information that is worth sharing, I will, of course, share it with you all. The other thing to share is that Spotify has listed Payday 3 Volume 2. This is the next edition of the soundtrack that will be on streaming next Friday at what I believe is going to be about 1 PM UK time. That's 2 PM Swedish time, and again, you can convert from there. But this time next week, we will have the DLC heist tracks from year one of Payday 3. You can spot some of the names. I think it's also going to include Cook-Off and Turbid Station because Let Them Cook screams Cook-Off to me. And then I'm guessing either the Ghost or Teardown Protocol will be the Turbid Station track, and the rest you can see from there. So I imagine Teardown might be Syntax, Sarin Rush, maybe Boys in Blue. Who knows? We'll just see. I can't seem to find it by searching up for it at the minute, so I will leave a link to the Spotify album in the description. If anyone's got any other links or access things to send to me, feel free and I'll put them in the description for other streaming platforms. But Spotify's the one I use, so that's the link I've got. The only other thing I want to talk about was an announcement for my own content, and I was going to make this a couple of minutes at the start of a dev blog video, but here we are. It's now the biggest part of this video. I'm going to be doing an interview with Almir Listo and Andreas Redmanninja, who are the new game directors for Payday 3, and I'm going to be doing it in person. So as always, I want your questions in the comment section below, on Twitter, Discord, wherever the best way is to reach me. Please do send me your questions. I'd greatly appreciate it. But I also want to come on here and explain a bit about why it's going to be in person and what's happening, because I know saying in person is going to make a lot of you go, oh God, he's being flown over again to promote the game. They are flying me over, but it's not for promotion, and that's why I want to explain it very briefly. I imagine a lot of you who watch my content probably have also seen the Nolies from time to time. He did put a video up recently called The Payday Drama. There's a thumbnail of it here, and I'll link it on screen in the description. He talked about a lot of problems in the Payday community, but one of the biggest ones he discussed was the community's response to the ammo funnel nerf and a lot of the chaos that ensued from that. I didn't talk about it much on my own personal YouTube channel because I felt a bit too close to the situation to make a reliable video about what had happened. I didn't want to be crass, but if you don't know and you haven't seen Nolies' video, a very brief summation, and this is in the past now, I'm not trying to dig it up, but I need to explain this for context. After the ammo funnel nerf was announced, I was faced with some very unnecessary harassment from the partner of one of the lead Starbreeze developers for Payday 3. I'm not naming names. You can go and watch Noli's video to get the information. I'm just trying to give you the context and move on here because, frankly, this happened nearly 2 months ago. I'd rather not dig up old things. I was not particularly happy at the time. I was not enjoying how the community were responding on either side. There were a lot of people who came to support me, and I really appreciate that, but on both sides, people were not behaving the way they should for interacting between devs and a community. So I had several meetings with the Starbreeze community team about what had happened, and it was suggested that I come over to Starbreeze's studio in Stockholm, not to promote the game, but to talk more with Starbreeze's management team about what had happened, why it happened, and how we can prevent it in the future, how we can make that community interaction better. So I agreed and said I was happy to come over there if they flown me out, because I ain't got the money to pay for it myself at the minute, but I said to them I'd be happy to have that conversation. My discrepancy was that I wasn't going to promote any content. I'm not going to make any videos saying I flew to Starbreeze and they showed me this cool thing, because frankly, you're sick of hearing that, I'm sick of doing it. Not only from June 2023, but also when I did that tweet a few months ago saying I'd seen the roadmap early and it looked really cool. That took like 3 or 4 months to come out afterwards, and I'm personally just sick of saying things ahead of time that you haven't seen. So I'm just going to take a step back on that front. If they do want to show me stuff, I'll happily let them show me, but I'm not going to promote it to any of you. I'll give them internal feedback, but I'm not doing any kind of promotion like that. But as a result, as we were arranging this trip and when was the best time for me to come over to have this meeting with the management, the game director change was announced, and I saw an opportunity there to make a good video out of going over there that would be in person, more professional, and that people would really enjoy. You guys really liked the last interview with Almir, and I greatly enjoyed it. And despite what else happened around June 2023, or was discovered later that the game, obviously wasn't as good as we thought, one of the big things I can still take away as a net positive was having those interviews with Almir and Andreas in person last year. If you've not seen them, I'll link them down below. Feel free to go and watch them, but I'm excited to interview them both at the same time in the same room in person. It'll be really cool. But I just wanted to come on here and explain what was happening there, because I don't want anyone getting the wrong idea and thinking I'm about to be another mouthpiece to promote cool content. I'm done with that. I will review things as they come out, and that is it. I'm not doing any more public hyping of things I've been told privately. So yeah, that's everything you need to know. I just wanted to make sure that everyone knew what was going on with that interview, because I am really excited for it, but I know there would be a bit of a problem when people discussing what's happening here, why is it happening, if I don't hop on and clarify very briefly as to what's going on. So if you guys do have anything you want me to share about community interactions and how you're feeling as a Payday 3 community member, please do feel free to let me know in the comments. I might take what you say and pass it on as part of what I'm saying. I've already got in my head a lot of things that I do want to share, but, I'll happily take suggestions if you've got them. And also, I should say, please bear in mind, I may not feel it appropriate to share the discussions publicly. If something comes out of it that I feel is worth telling you about, having this chat with the management team, I'll do it, but I feel like it's probably best kept internally just so they can work on things a bit more behind closed doors and hopefully listen to some of the feedback I've got. But either way, thank you all for watching and for your support, as always. I greatly do appreciate it. I'll be back next week with more Payday 3 content, hopefully a dev blog next Friday, but I guess we'll find out. But either way, thank you all for watching. I greatly appreciate it, and I'll see you all in the next video with some more Payday 3 stuff. Thanks for watching. Take care.